Jesus Arredondo, let's get you in here in terms of why you're opposed to 37.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us. It's a very important debate, very important discussion. The principal concerns that I have, I spend most of my time on regulation. And I think the approach to better information and providing more information to a society, it's a noble goal, it's a noble start. Unfortunately, the way that this proposition is drafted is very poor and will result in enormous confusion, and it's going to increase costs for our foods. The unfortunate reality here is that you have a proposition that is so poorly worded that we are going to wind up in litigation on day one if this thing passes. I would say vote no. There's a better approach.
Litigation by which side? The losing side, probably. Whoever wins or loses, right?
Fair enough. The reality, though, is that on the winning side, if let's say that it succeeds, we're going to get litigation anyway from the very lawyers who drafted this proposition. They've done it in other cases. They were very instrumental in drafting Proposition 65 in California. That's resulted in a direct benefit to those who drafted the proposition. In no case have we seen that there's any benefits to the populace, to the people that we are supposed to be protecting. And so if it's true that the interest is noble, then let's make sure that we do it right. Let's not rush in this instance. Let's make sure that we do it from the perspective of being a little bit more judicial in the way that we're approaching the drafting of the proposition so that we don't wind up costing consumers unnecessarily.
So you're saying that organic food companies are pushing this because they're going to make more money. Is that what you're saying?
I think they will.
Jessica Lundberg?
Could I address that? Yes, I would like to address that. For one, you said that lawyers have drafted this, but actually lawyers haven't. This proposition was drafted by a coalition across food safety, public health, farmers, and concerned citizens, because I know that because I was a part of that as a farmer. So this has been something that has been put together with a very keen interest for what will benefit the public, what will not be an addition to cost, and provide as little regulatory oversight as possible. So I don't agree with you on that as far as it being drafted by the trial lawyers, and especially on the point of it being drafted by the same people that drafted Proposition 65. I understand the intention of Proposition 65 was also a positive for the California consumers as far as protecting them, but learning from what happened with Proposition 65, Proposition 37 was put in place so that it would not reward lawyers for headhunting. There is a public provision so that any consumer can draw a suit against a company if they feel that a product is not labeled that should be labeled. But once a company shows an affidavit that it does not contain genetic engineering, the suit just drops, it's over. And if an attorney does help a consumer in drawing up a lawsuit, there are no additional fees that are paid to them for doing that. So that's something that I feel is misleading to say.
Will organic companies benefit from 37?
And that's an interesting point too, because if you think about it, organic foods are the only foods right now currently on the market that actually have a regulation that they cannot be produced using genetic engineered seeds or products. So actually, isn't that counterintuitive though, that right now when a consumer looks for a product that doesn't have genetic engineering, organic food is the only one that provides that, and yet what this ballot initiative aims to do is to provide more direction to the consumers that actually would provide competition for organic foods if that's what the consumer is looking for, because it suddenly makes our market much wider for choice for people to be able to go out and see across a broad spectrum of products where they can find foods without genetic engineering if that's what they're choosing to purchase.
So it could actually be harmful and more competition for genetic food providers. Let's talk about cost. One of the claims is that this will drive up food costs. There's a lot of numbers out there. I saw one that was in the Ag Bio Forum from 2007 that said ranges between $1 to $10 per person in industrialized countries. How is this going to affect cost, Proposition 37? Who'd like to tackle that? Jesus?
Well,
Ken.
number one, the studies that we have looked at suggest that the impact to an average family is going to be between $350 and $400 a year. Now,
And where's that number come from? What's that based on?
right, that's based on if I am a producer and I don't want to have a label on my product, I'm going to have to reconstitute my food and my product, and I'm going to aggregate costs to that product. I'm going to pass that on to the consumer. So if you're already shopping at Whole Foods, $400 might be nothing to you. But if you're shopping at Super Walmart, that's a big impact. $400 is a big impact to every family. So there is a real cost. Moreover, the Legislative Analyst Office in the state of California, which is an independent part of the government, did a study, and they said to regulate this, it's going to cost a tremendous amount of money. Now, there are some that have said, no, 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 it's not going to cost a lot of money. When was the last time that a government program was cheap? Ask yourself that question.